High-performance automobile manufacturers seldom talk about comfort. It's all about scorching 0 to 60 times and lofty lateral G-forces. But McLaren engineers want you to know that this, the 570 GT, is tuned for civilian use. Now starting at just over $200,000, 215 is tested. Malibu and Camry are in no danger of losing market share to this, but imagine running errands in this day in and day out.
No, it does not float like the Oldsmobile your parents drove. Compared to the 570S model, the GT here softens up the front suspension firmness by 15%, the rear 10%, and then there are special tires.
With a unique composition, tread pattern, and a foam liner of sorts inside, road noise is cut by 3 decibels. Stuff more acoustical material into the cabin, and the GT is better for road trip duty. At warp speed if you're confident law enforcement isn't around. From rest, 60 miles an hour is just 3.3 seconds away.
I've been fortunate to drive some exotic high-performance machines lately. This and the Porsche 911 Turbo S get my vote for best everyday driver. It's not squirrely at all. Just in case you're thinking about plunking down $200K for a car.
I'd be happy to tackle hundreds of miles from behind the flat-bottom steering wheel. Top track speed is 204 miles an hour. I'm taking McLaren's word to avoid the county jail.
The cockpit is snug but comfortable. The A-pillar very close by. The glass roof, which is standard, keeps things airy.
Those special rear tires are driven by a 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8. That is tough to see. But lovely to hear, there's a whisper of turbo whistle, 562 horsepower, and 443 pound-feet of torque are on tap.
Compared to the S model, the exhaust note is muted. I'm not complaining.
A 7-speed dual-clutch automatic is smarter than most pilots, but there is a manual mode. Driving dynamics can be tailored to your mood. Since the exhaust sound is neutered a bit, it helps to hush the cabin appropriately for a car of this ilk.
All right, this is not a really quiet car. You won't be thinking to yourself, it's just like an old Lexus. Since the suspension can be adjusted, the GT doesn't really give up all that much to the S model if a buyer is thinking about taking this car on a track.
Pushing the 570 to its lofty limits on public roads is a bad idea for so many reasons, but I can tell you the rear drive dynamics are loads of fun when the pavement bends hard.
Obviously, few people buy cars this expensive, but vehicles like this are very important because they pioneer high technology that eventually trickles down to everyday cars.
Perhaps the 570's carbon fiber tub chassis structure will be common in the future. Shaving weight improves fuel economy. McLarens aren't saddled with a gas guzzler tax. Anti-lock brakes showed up first on supercars. As you might imagine, these are very good.
The auto start-stop system can be turned off. The transmission almost reads your mind. Listen. Love the way it downshifts. Brilliant.
Buyers are free to choose from many different leather and stitching combinations to make the car their own. Built in the United Kingdom, 570 feels more handcrafted and small volume than cars from Mercedes-AMG and Porsche. Some of the pieces border on art. Not much storage in here.
Needless to say, everybody loves the doors, very visual. The 570 is much easier to get into than the McLaren 650 because the sill is reduced. Owners might want to practice getting out though. I know I should have.
Everything from the transmission operation to the unique touchscreen interface takes a while to get used to. The power seat operation, by Braille is perhaps the worst I've used. Do I need to mention there's no back seat? Visibility out the front is quite good, but glad this is standard. It's easy to scrape the chin on low-slung cars. A front lift helps.
Considering its class, there's some practicality here.
For those long road trips, a standard-sized suitcase and a purse will tuck into here, but wait, there's more. A second piece of luggage is on display. Make it the better-looking bag.
Ordered the car with right-hand drive, and the glass is hinged on the other side, so you can always load from the curb. How thoughtful.
The swept silhouette in aluminum is especially impressive in person. McLaren might want to increase their marketing budget. Most eyeballs that lock on to the exotic shape have no idea
It's a Lamborghini. It's awesome.
what this car is. The 570 GT could be the most outrageous way imaginable to travel anonymously, comfortably, and rapidly. In talking with the folks at McLaren, many buyers that buy the 570S end up buying lots of the options that come standard on the GT version, and that ends up making the S nearly as expensive and heavy as the GT. So, my advice would be to go with the GT since it's more comfortable for everyday use. That's just my practical Midwest advice when it comes to buying supercars. In case you're wondering, a convertible version is on its way. Have to share this. This woman flagged me down to get a look.
Good morning.
Nice car.
Yes. Do you know what it is?
Well, I'm thinking it's a Lamborghini.
Not a Lamborghini.
What is it?
It's a McLaren.
Really?
Yeah.
Are the doors open, normal? Yeah, see?
Well, that's not normal.
I know.
That is how I feel about the McLaren 570 GT. And let me share a little story with you. I can't catch everything on camera. There was a 2-year-old boy who saw this car. He was absolutely transfixed. The doors opened. He did a little happy dance. His mother could not pry him away. It was so cool. Instinctually, he knew that there was something special about this car. I will never forget that moment. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.